All right, guys, it's Sebastian Milo with the Boxing Mob, and I'm here with Ernesto Tito Mercado. Tito, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just finished some sparring. Feel great.
I saw your sparring. Obviously, you look good. You got the power, worked on combination punches. Seems like you were also kind of working a little bit on the defense of I saw him trying to throw the hooks to the body. What was the main purpose of today's sparring, a couple weeks out from the fight?
I mean, like you said, yeah, being a little defensive. The guys sparring today, they came in a little with their heads. So obviously, I got a little headbutt clash, so I had to be a little bit more defensive too when they're coming forward. But mainly just controlling the pace of the fight and using my distance.
Tito, obviously we know who you are, but there's a lot of people who don't. You're only 22, you're 16-0, you're fairly young, obviously accomplished, but young. For those who don't know you, tell the people, who is Tito Mercado? Where are you from? What weight do you fight at?
Yeah, I'm from Pomona, California. That's where we're gym at right here, G2G Boxing Club right here in Pomona. Yeah, man, I'm 22 years old, 16-0, 15 knockouts. I had a highly decorated amateur career. I had a 23-time national champion. I was the 2020 U.S. Olympic alternate, and I'm just a guy that loves to box, man. November 8th, I'm working hard. It's gonna be my Matchroom debut, so I'm just excited, man, to get that going. And like I said, man, I love boxing. I've been boxing all my life, and got my brothers that box too, so it's a family affair.
Obviously, we know that track record, the amateur pedigree. I know you've been in a lot of good names too, but last year I think you really put yourself on the map in the pro level. You were talked about as prospect of the year by Ring and by Boxing Scene, and to be talked about by the elites of boxing at that level, right, as a prospect of the year. What does that mean to you?
It means everything to me, man. Especially my upbringing as a pro. I didn't have no major promoter. We kind of did everything our own route, and to be able to be mentioned with those guys that had that major platform, ESPN, The Zone, and to be, I won what's we call it, prospect of the year on, I believe, the Boxing Scene. So
yeah,
to be able to win or even be in those nominations, man, as an independent guy, who hasn't got as much eyeballs or that platform. I think it means everything. I think it means that we're doing a great job.
Nah, it's crazy to accomplish all that at such a young age, and also to your point, with no real promoter behind you. You have you and your dad, of course, but the people have mentioned you as prospect of the year, but I read an interview where you actually called yourself a contender at this point. Explain to the people why you feel that you're a contender over a prospect at this point of your career.
I think it's more so the guys I've been beating, man, and the way I've been beating them. You got Nakatila, who's fought with Shakur, who's fought with Murataya not too long ago, who's a people considering contender. Almost, he's like I feel like a fight away from a title shot. You got guys like Indohenia, who I fought in Nicaragua. I beat him. Marno Barbosa just fought him, and so is Murataya. And those guys are contenders, and I feel like I did it all in a better fashion. So to be able to beat those type of guys, and these guys, Murataya and all them, they have 20 plus pro fights. I did it with 10, 13 fights. I feel like that shows a lot, man. I feel like it shows that I belong there, and I've been doing 10 rounds, so that's why I feel that way.
No, 100%. And obviously, you talked about capabilities, having your dad, yourself, no promoter. Prior to signing with Matchroom, you and your dad did it by yourself. Now that you have Matchroom in your corner, what do you think it does for your career? At what stage does it bring you to now?
I think it's gonna bring me to superstardom. I think that this is what we needed. Somebody to be able to bring me a big platform, to be able to promote you right. And obviously, I've been fighting good names independently. So, with a major promoter, it's gonna be anytime soon that I'll be getting all these big names right away. And like I said, to be broadcast where there's gonna be a lot of eyeballs, I feel that's what's gonna bring me to superstardom, man. Because like I said, also too, when I fight, I like to get knockouts, and I know that's what people like to see. You guys got like Gervonta Davis, who's just knocking dudes out, who's a pay-per-view star. So I think that's ultimately, if I stay on track, I feel that's where I could be at.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just interject my personal opinion on this. I think it was a long time coming, long overdue that you sign with a big promoter like this, because to your point, you have the knockouts, you have that fan-friendly style.
Right.
And I'm glad that obviously people are showcasing it now in Matchroom. Decided to do that. For you, why? Because I'm sure you were approached by many other people. Why was Matchroom the right choice?
I just seen what they've been doing, man. They've been putting on big fights. They've been partnered up. I believe they were probably the first ones to partner up with Turkey. To start making these big fights happen. And I feel like to be able to make those big fights happen, you gotta have somebody that's kind of like a powerhouse. And I feel like Eddie's that right now at the moment. So that's what we decided to go with now.
100%. You can see Eddie too with Diego Pacheco, some other like LA local guys. Now adding you to that reservoir. Obviously, it's just gonna propel them here in the United States too.
Right.
Now go back. With your dad, I met your dad today, and for those who don't know the story of your father, yourself, you guys doing it alone for a long time. What does it mean to you, obviously, to have, yes, you have Matchroom now in your corner, but you always have your dad there. To talk to me about the confidence he's instilled in you, and what it means just to have your dad in your corner, because not a lot of people have that opportunity at this level.
Right. No, I feel like it means everything. Me and my father, he's been my own trainer since my whole career, so we obviously have a chemistry, and we know each other very well. My father knows me, he knows my capabilities, and I feel like anytime I'm in the ring, anything he tells me, I trust it without a doubt, and that's what's able to get me, to these fights and be able to just knock these guys out so quickly is because we understand each other and we work him. Like I said, my dad's brought me this far, and we've been doing a great job. And I got my brothers right behind me, and I hope they're able to accomplish, double, triple what I do.
100%, God willing, yeah. And with Matchroom, I'm sure you saw with Edgar Berlanga when they signed him, he was a big, free agent at the time, and they made him a promise they're going to get him the Canelo fight. They got it for him.
Right.
I'm curious for you, and obviously for what you can share. Were there any promises or conversations with Eddie as to what he thinks he can get you that maybe persuaded you to sign with him?
Obviously, man, we talked about the big fights and the big platform. That's, like I said, that's the main thing. And like I said, we've been seeing what he's been doing. Like you said, Berlanga, even though he didn't get that win, I know Eddie promised him that fight. He got him the fight, and now, to a certain extent, Berlanga is more of a household name now.
100%.
I mean, I wouldn't say a superstar, but he's definitely right below that, where a lot of people are just you see him in the street, you would notice him. So
yeah,
I feel like in that sense, Eddie could definitely bring me to that level, and once we get to the big fights, I know I could win it. So I definitely could become a superstar with Eddie.
Talking of superstars, I mean, at your weight class 140, there's really no shortage of potential and superstars. Right? I would argue that 140 is maybe one of the most stacked divisions in all of boxing right now.
Right.
Outside of yourself for a sec, who do you think are the top 3 names at 140?
At 140, I'll probably say Teofimo. I would have to give it to Devin Haney. And then probably, 40, that's kind of hard. Maybe, I would say maybe Pitbull Cruz because of the name. A lot of Mexican fans are behind him right now. So I would say them 2 at 40. But if I had to throw in one extra name that I think is at the top of him, is probably Gervonta, but he's 35. He goes up to 40 every now and then, but probably Gervonta though at the top.
100%, and there's so many other deeper names too that obviously people are not even paying attention to. That division runs deep, and now obviously with you there at that level with Matchroom, now tying in yourself, where do you see yourself fitting in this division? Obviously, you believe you're the best, of course.
Right.
With that said, I mean, when do you think we can maybe expect, I know you're young, 22, 16-0, 15 knockouts, but you've proven it already on your own. When do you think we can expect maybe a title shot or that opportunity to contend for that at that level for you?
Hopefully, within, the next year, I feel like I'm ready now. Obviously, this first fight won't be for a title shot, but I feel like maybe in the near future, sometime next year, I'm hoping maybe around the summertime, I'm able to get something like that.
I mean, yeah, of course, God willing, and hopefully, you've talked about the dream names. I'm sure you had those conversations with Eddie you mentioned. Is there a specific, fight you want? I mean, obviously, you can't overlook the one you have, of course, right now, but down the road, is there a dream fight for you?
Maybe with Tank probably, just because he's, just like I said, a household name he is. But as far as champions, man, there's no shortage of them, and Eddie works with everybody, so that's what kind of makes it a little easier too. I'm able to get those fights. He works with PBC, he works with everybody. It's not a certain promoter. He does not work with. So
yeah.
But he has Leon Paro and what's it call it? I would say Devin Haney in a way because he works with him a lot.
Yeah, the relationship's there.
Right. So I mean, either one of those guys for a 140 title, if they still have the belts, obviously I think that would be something ideal.
And talk to me about, obviously, your upcoming fight. I mean, you're on the card with Boots, with Bam. I mean, huge names.
Right.
All eyes are going to be on this one, November 9th. Talk to me about that fight. At this point, like, your first massive opportunity with a massive promoter to showcase your skills and maybe steal the night.
Right. No, I mean, like you said, you got Boots and you got Bam. Those 2 guys are, I feel like, becoming household names. I feel like in the near-time future, they become superstars and maybe Hall of Famers, down the line, especially what Bam's doing right now. And I feel like it's a great and important time for me to, especially my debut, to go there and steal the show, get a knockout in devastating fashion against a guy that, obviously experienced and tough. So I can't wait for it, man. I'm preparing, I'm doing everything I can right now to be able to, like I said, steal that night, because I mean that's a lot of people are gonna be looking. You got the Hispanic fans, you got the American fans. It's gonna be crazy. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, Philly is also a boxing city, man. I mean, that's one of the meccas of boxing back in the day, and hopefully it has its resurgence over there. But last one for me, I mean, Tito Mercado. Why is he somebody who potential opponents and boxing fans as a whole need to be aware of? What makes you special?
I think because I have the whole package, man. Kind of like, Gervonta says in the way, he has the whole package. I feel like I have the power, I have the speed, I have the physical capabilities, especially at 40. I feel like I'm a big 140 pounder. So it's just a lot to deal with, and man, I have a lot of experience. I'm not a type of guy that just one-dimensional. I could switch things around within the fly. I don't necessarily need to go back to the corner. I could kind of already, that's what we're kind of talking about with my father. I could kind of already visualize or hear what he would kind of say to me already before I even get back to the corner. So it's kind of like we already have that chemistry. Like he's already right there with me in the ring. So I feel like I have that factor in there that makes a big difference in the fights.
100%. Obviously, we look forward to it. I mean, you're a star in the making, superstar in the making, and we'll see you November 9th.
Cool. Thank you.
Appreciate you, bro.